All right, welcome back. We want to continue with Good Morning Kenya. In case you are just joining us, karibu tena sana. We are glad that you have chosen to start your morning with us. I am Jane Wamboy. We now want to move on to the second segment of In the Headlines. We just get to have a quick look at what the papers have for us today for different dailies. Remember, we're using the hashtag Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. I start you off with the Daily Nation. Most of the stories are just political, but it covers a pretty good range. Starting with this particular story here on this particular header, take it from me, it is over between Uhuru and Ruto. It is over between Uhuru and Ruto. This is a story that has been covered here on page 7, a one-on-one with Kanini Kega, his take in regards to the relationship between Uhuru and Ruto, and in his own terms, it is over. I'll be giving you details very briefly as to what that particular interview entails. Coming to the main read, breaking the Ruto juggernaut. Now, full force of 30 governors that have been drafted to lead the onslaught, and this is the Azimio la Umoja strategy as per what the team has been planning. So beneath all these beautiful smiles that you see on our president's face and his partner, ODM leader Raila Odinga, here they go on to say it is now or never for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, and of course their Azimio la Umoja movement, and to signal that they mean business and nothing aside from business, they have deployed heavyweight governors and ministers to counter the William Ruto offensive, which they term as a one-man army. That story has been covered here. It is quite interesting. I'll be giving you more details in a bit. Coming to KBC, here there's a picture of some kids who were just lying on the grass as they were preparing for the assessment this past week. You know, the children were going through their assessment for this particular term as they concluded this academic year. But looking at MPs poking holes in regards to CBC, some MPs and teachers unions have raised fresh concern over the implementation of the CBC, the competency-based curriculum, citing inadequate capacity when it comes to teaching staff, because the government has been going over and beyond to ensure that they are constructing enough classrooms. But on the flip side, how are they facilitating the teaching staff for these particular students? That is a story that has been covered here on the back page of the Daily Nation. Of course, the CS for Education had a bit to say about that, which I'll be letting you know in a bit. Then again, the final story concerning Africa. Health-wise, Africa off track to eliminate malaria by 2030, as per that particular news item that we just saw there, featuring our President Uhuru Kenyatta. That is briefly what the front page has for us today. More details coming up in a bit. Victor.
Just before I go to the front page here of the Star newspaper, let me just join it with the political page here, where it says that Raila's Jumbo coalition to be unveiled on 26th of this month. And now it says that ODM chief Raila Odinga's political machine to be unveiled on February 26th after two-day national delegates convention by both Jubilee and ODM parties. They said that Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and his One Kenya Alliance counterparts will formally team up with Raila. Now, President Kenyatta is at the center of the new political tack as he tries to turn tables against his deputy, that is William Ruto. Raila and Ruto are working on what the insiders term the mother of all coalitions. And here we have got an illustration of political parties supporting Raila presidency. They are 15 in total. We have got Jubilee Party, Party of National Unity, PNU, Democratic Action Party, DAPK. We have got Ubuntu Party Forum, Ubuntu People Forum, I beg your pardon, Kenya United Party, Devolution Empowerment Party. We have got Muungano Party, Maendeleo Chap Chap, National Rainbow Coalition, NAC, Maendeleo Democratic Party. We have got Pamoja African Alliance and United Democratic Movement, that is UDM. We have got UDA, we have got UDM. We have the United Party of Independent Alliance, Economic Freedom Party, and finally Movement for Democracy and Growth Party. 15 of them in total. That is exactly what's on the front page here, where it says that political machine to be unveiled after two-day NDC by Jubilee and ODM President Kenyatta at center of political plan. And of course there we have got a picture of President Kenyatta meeting Abiy, that is Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in Ethiopia during an AU summit. Okay. ICC judge faces hostile witnesses in Gisheru trial. A Hague-based court scheduled 5-day hearing for the case. Now, Gisheru trial in the witness interference case is set to begin on February 15th before ICC judge Miata Maria Samba with James Stewart and Anton Steinberg as prosecutors. Now, but even as the 5-day trial is set to start, at least 4 key witnesses have pulled out at the last minute. Okay. There's a sad story here of an Nakuru father's body being held 4 months later over 5.5 million shillings bail. Mwai, who died because of COVID-19 related complications, died at the age of 72 on October 6, 2021, but his body has been held since then. And the family says that they are not able to take body for a decent burial because the hospital is demanding 5.5 million shillings to offset the medical bill and the mortuary bill as well. And finally, some rival Azimio la Umoja factions battle for Nairobi governor seat. It was a heated part, of course, here in Nairobi over the last weekend. The two groups pour cold water on each other as they hunt for votes in the city, and they say that they are now vouching for that coveted ticket. Raila's stooge in Uhuru plan to stay in power, that's according to Kenya Kwanza. They accused President Kenyatta actually of trying to come back to power through backdoor, quote unquote, and they say they are not going to allow that to happen. And finally, IEBC misses listing target by big margin. So only 902,211 new voters netted out of a target of 4.5 million as at Saturday, as enhanced exercise ended yesterday. So if you did not take your voter's card, let's wait and see what IBC will do, because as per the law, it should be a continuous process. Doreen?
All right, so let's come to the People's Daily, and we can begin with this heartbreaking story which actually happened in Gilgil, where a victim in murder-suicide tried killing herself before. This is just a story of a woman, 32-year-old woman named Molen Akinyi, who killed, this is her 3 children, and then ended up killing herself. And reports shows that she had tried this before and it failed. Now she actually ended up doing this, and all her children are dead as well as her. And the major reason, as she left behind a 4-page letter, and she documented how frustrating her marriage was and troublesome her marriage was. This is one of the major reasons cited there as the reason as to why she ended up poisoning the minors and also ended up taking her life. This is why we keep saying all the time, if it's not working, then your life is not worth it. It's not that, serious, because now these are just minors who perhaps had a very bright future, but now they are no more. So that happened in Gilgil. And also, again, to that story of voter listing or voter registration, now there are talks that perhaps IEBC could extend that for a further 9 days, since it has been mentioned they weren't able to meet their target of 4.5 million Kenyans on this second phase of voter registration, which began on January 17th and ended yesterday. Again, obviously, we expect a briefing I think it's today, whereby they're going to update us on how it went, and obviously, again, which counties formed the bigger chunk of those that ended up getting listed or registered as voters, and which counties formed the list and why, and perhaps if they might extend it or not. And also, Mudavadi family in race to State House. This is what the ANC party is insisting, just saying that its leader was firmly in the presidential race, and the pact that they formed, this is, I think, it's about 2 weeks or so, between Ford Kenya and DP's party, that is UDA. Remember that also as of last week, you already said that they really are still in talks on who will carry the day, who will be the flag bearer, but the ANC party insists that their leader is still firmly in the race to State House, that is for the presidential race. So what does it mean for the two principals who formed the Kenya Kwanza coalition? Well, time will tell. And away from that, to some bit of education matters, Magoha warns against corporal punishment. This is after that student assault, which happened in Gremon Education Center in Bamburi, that is in Mombasa County, whereby there were reports of beating of that a schoolboy, which was done by the school director because that boy had taken extra chapatis. If you can remember that story that was in the dailies last week and also on mainstream media, and this is why the CS has come to say that corporal punishment is not allowed in school. And he even went ahead to further say that all the students in this particular school need to be transferred to a public school, and the director be arrested and measures taken because of that assault that happened in that school last week. And to some health stories, alarm over a rise in cancer cases in Kisii County. Remember that every month is at least a cancer awareness month. Last month we talked about cervical cancer awareness month, and February is also that particular month for National Cancer and Prevention just awareness month, to ensure that they get to inform and encourage the general public on its prevention. And this is why we've seen medics and health practitioners come out to say that it's very important for screening, because going by this article, it just shows that there are so many Kenyans who are suffering of cancer without their knowledge. They don't get to know, and this is because a good number of them also don't get to head over for this screening. And in this specific county, that is in Kisii, 3 cancers seem to be most prevalent, key among them being cervical cancer as well as prostate cancer. So when you get to the details, I'll be telling you what the county government in that area is doing to ensure at least they can be able to curb the cases that are highly rising of cancer in Kisii County. And lastly, dealers urge Uhuru to lift ban on scrap metal. This is in Nakuru County, whereby about 2 months, actually it's last month, the president stopped exports and dealings in scrap metals, saying that the dealers in this kind of business ended up destroying public property, public infrastructure for getting of these metals for the different kind of businesses. And this is why the head of state put a ban on this metal. So the traders have decried of layoffs and massive losses, and this is why they're urging the president to lift that ban, saying that there are those who are in this business genuinely and not necessarily having to use public property or public infrastructure. Regina.
I have a copy of the Standard with me this morning, being the 7th of February 2022, and the front page, you bet, is reading like from the scripts that we've already had, matters of politics taking center stage. So the header that we have this morning is why we left Raila to join Ruto. That is according to ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi. And this was part of a story that we aired for you, so you can also find out more details on our website. That is www.kbc.co.ke. So ANC leader and Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula moved to appease their home base, explaining why they chose Kenya Kwanza over Azimio la Umoja. Now, this comes at a time when Musyoka of Wiper comes and says that there is no plan per se. There are no prerequisites for us to join Azimio la Umoja. We'll be keeping tabs on what is happening on the political scene. Remember, quite a day in politics is quite a long time. We'll be looking at that as we proceed this week. So that's the front page. That's a big read on that particular on this particular paper. Then also there is a story here talking about the British, our former colonizers, and this is Britain. So the Queen's 70-year royal journey that started in Kenya. Well, if you didn't know, then you know. 1952 is when Elizabeth became the Queen, and yesterday she became Britain's longest-serving monarch. On social media platforms, there's a story where she says that once Prince Charles ascends to be king, top of the monarch, she proposes that Camilla be referred to as Queen's Consort. Yes, Queen's Consort. So you can go take a trip down memory lane, look at Kenya's history with Britain and such, and what is happening in Britain. That's a story that has been fleshed out for you in this particular daily. Talking about matters of universal health care, and this is a conversation that has hit both mainstream media and social media. The new UHC or NHIF, beginning today, we will all be mandated, all Kenyans will be mandated to prescribe to NHIF, so to speak. And I'd want to bring you to speed exactly what that means. So, employed Kenyans to support the unemployed to access health services. This is under President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda, UHC, so to speak. So its financier will be the National Health Insurance Fund, and this is under the newly signed NHIF Amendment Bill of 2022. So it means that we can, or rather, a majority of Kenyans employed and those who are not employed will be benefiting from this particular outfit. But questions have already been put across and already poking holes on phase one, where the government intends to spend 30 billion shillings to enroll the poor on NHIF super cover at a cost of 6,000 per household, with about 1.4 million households covered in the current financial year. The question has been, facilities, are they medically equipped as well as personnel to handle the bulk of patients trickling in and out? Statistics indicate, according to a report, NHIF report by the Association of Kenya Insurers, shows that there are around 17 private insurance companies offering health insurance products with NHIF, and they control a market share of 88.4%. and others are sharing out 11.6%. And that is as per the accounts of, the Kenya National Health accounts of 2015-2016. The issue of these facilities being medically equipped, as well as having the human resource to handle that particular move, so to speak. On other stories from the floor of the House, and we'll be keenly focusing on that now, Garissa Township MP Aden Duale is demanding a total disclosure of the multi-billion shilling contract awarded to Chinese funds since Jubilee took power in 2013. If that comes to pass, we'll be keeping tabs on what is happening in Parliament. So that brings a cap to matters in the headlines. So you can get a copy, and just need to know that now with the rollout, it begins today. We're not talking about tomorrow. This is going to, President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to be rolling out the universal health coverage that is expected to increase access to health services in the country today. We're going to be keeping tabs on that as questions emerge on, the feasibility of it, given the state of a majority of public hospitals. I'm Regina Manyara. I wish you a pleasant viewing ahead. Remember, if you did not get to watch the AFCON match, well, right after Good Morning Kenya, we're going to have Sports Check, and we're going to be talking about what happened yesterday in Cameroon.